Flavorcast episode 2. I have no idea how that sounded, but it's
Pretty cool.
hopefully worked out. All right, episode 2. Off to a very string. I don't know. Off to a very swinging start here. I don't know what the word. Strong start. I feel like our first episode was with one of your favorite skaters, Ryan.
Yep.
And for the second episode, I mean, we're off to a bang, in my opinion, because this is my favorite skater. That's no secret at all. So
yeah.
I am very much nervous in this situation, but very excited to be doing this. So without further ado, I started. I pinged the AI to give me a biography about our guest, who is Mr. Michael Briggs. Let's go ahead and cover that now. And just so you know, AI isn't exactly 100% accurate these days. So I do have the voice reading one, voice or the narrator voice. We'll do that. So here we go. Here's an introduction to Michael Briggs.
There we go. Michael Briggs, also known as GhostBoob on Instagram, is a professional inline skater from the United States. He is known for his technical skating style and his love of music. Briggs started skating when he was just 10 years old, and he quickly rose the ranks of the inline skating world. He has won numerous competitions, including the World Championships in 2016 and 2017. Briggs is also a popular YouTuber, and he has over 100,000 subscribers to his channel. In addition to skating, Briggs is also a talented musician. He plays the guitar and the piano, and he has released several albums of original music. Briggs is a passionate advocate for the inline skating community, and he is always looking for ways to promote the sport. He's a regular speaker at inline skating events, and he's also a co-founder of the non-profit organization, the Inline Skating Foundation. Briggs is a true inspiration to inline skaters of all ages. He's a reminder that anything is possible if you set your mind to it. Here are some additional facts about Michael Briggs. He was born in 1995 in San Diego, California. He is 5'8" tall and weighs 150 pounds. He's sponsored by USD Skates, Intuition Liners, and Head-On Skate. He's a graduate of the University of California, San Diego. He's currently based in Los Angeles, California. Michael Briggs is a talented and inspiring inline skater. He's a role model for skaters of all ages, and he is a positive force in the inline skating community.
I think those were pretty accurate. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say so.
There might be a couple of those off, but anyways, let's bring on our special guest, Mr. Briggs. And there he is in the green screen on the right side. Welcome, hello. Could you attest to the accuracy of that biography?
Like none of it. I don't know.
I mean, were you born in 1995 in San Diego, California? Is that true?
No. Where are you non-profit organization?
No, yeah.
Although I think there are some things that hold true.
Like I started skating when I was like 12.
I remember hearing that on the wax toaster. You said it was, what was your first pair of skates? Was Solomon's?
Nah, TRS
before Solomon's.
Lightning.
Yeah, that's right. You are.
Yeah.
Are you?
Because you are our age.
Yeah, I'm 37.
Oh, okay. You're like, yeah, I'm 38, so I didn't realize you were that old.
Yeah.
Did you get that a lot?
I like that you were like early 30s or something. I don't know.
Oh, no.
And you are in
Virginia.
Petersburg, Virginia.
Petersburg, yeah.
All right, I remembered something. And have you lived there like your whole life, or did you live anywhere else?
No, I grew up in Chester, Virginia. It's only like 20 miles away.
Okay, so Virginian for life.
Yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, San Diego, California. Totally wrong. All right. Got it. And now you're not sponsored by USD Skates, Intuition Liners, or Head-On Skate.
No. Yeah.
Correct. You are sponsored by Deal With This or Deal With It. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that not the recent thing? Yes.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, probably, I don't know, I want to say like September or October of last year.
How did that go about?
Matt just asked me if I had a wheel sponsor, and I said no.
All right, just like
A
that.
wheel sponsor is nice, man. That's
Yeah.
the best, probably the best kind of sponsor you could get for.
Yeah,
I
it
imagine you run
goes
through wheels, right?
super fast.
Yeah, I imagine. Did you have any sponsors before that?
No, I've never been sponsored.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh, damn.
I'm shocked by that. But yeah, look at those wheels. And you're an anti-skater, that correct?
Yeah.
Anti-rocker. So yeah, I imagine you go through wheels decently quickly.
Yeah. I think even if I skated flat, I'd still kind of be going through them kind of fast because I don't know if I'm just like picky or something, but I actually kind of toss wheels after they get to like 56 or 55 millimeters. So,
Oh,
yeah.
and how long does it? How long is it until that happens?
I don't know, like 2 weeks.
Okay, that's a lot of wheels, very quickly. I had all kinds of organization for this, but it's just out the window once we get started.
How many times do you skate a week that you're going through wheels like that?
Well, it's been like raining constantly since November, but I usually try to skate every day.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Are you like, do you do anything to like prepare yourself to be able to do that? Like nutrition wise or stretching wise, or like how are you able to do that at that age? Like skate every day like that?
I don't know. I never not done it. I never skated for like I never taken a break of more than like 2 weeks since I started skating.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So you never had any like injury? Is there anything like that that took you out more than 2 weeks? That's wild.
Nah, yeah, I sprained my ankle once like 10 years ago, and I started skating 2 weeks later. Yeah, to try to rehab it.
When you go out, like, so you go out every day, like how many hours are you skating a session like that? Like a couple hours or more, or?
Usually not more than 2 hours. I just go skate before work.
Okay, and you have like, and you work like third shift, is what you were saying?
I guess, yeah. From about 4 to midnight.
Nice, yeah. That's crazy.
Do you mind if I ask?
30-day skate challenge, and that sucked. Like I had a hard time doing that. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was rough, dude.
Do you mind if I ask what kind of field you work in?
I'm a janitor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds that sounds like I can get something I could get down with. So is it where does like you have so many different things that you just never know what's going to happen with whatever you do, which I love. It's always like just here, let's just post up the first thing I come across. Of just it's just so I don't even know where you would begin to come up with a concept like this. Do you are you like conceptualizing while you're working, or where do these ideas come from?
I don't really think too much as far as like having some idea in my head that I get out there. A lot of times, especially like music videos, I'll be like, all right, well, I want to make a music video. And at the last moment, I'll hopefully come up with an idea. But it's just like a means to an end.
The audio is coming through really long.
Oh god. Really? It says this music. I'm here. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good.
Technical thing.
This video is crazy. This is sick, man. I haven't seen this.
Yeah.
Wow.
This one is kind of like straightforward. Just put my mouth on a bunch of things.
How long have you been making music for?
I I don't know, almost 10 years, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I was
What
like
made
28,
you
maybe.
What made you start making music? Just another hobby, or?
Actually, I don't know how long he had been doing it, but like Malcolm Hurd had started making music.
Yeah. Mhm.
And then around that time, like Sean Kelso also started making music.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I think I know how to do it. I'll try it. So it's being trendy, I guess.
Yeah.
You are in the wax toaster. You said you currently, or you at the time of the wax toaster, which was like what 3 years ago, I believe. You were
Almost, yeah.
making music in Ableton and then arranging it in Sony Vegas. Is that still your
Yeah.
workflow?
Still have no idea
Interesting.
how to really use Ableton the right way.
I mean, whatever tool works for you. Is Sony Vegas is still being produced?
Apparently, I mean, I'm using the version that I got like 15 years ago. But
Wow.
Just never
yeah,
update.
it's 8. Yeah. So like,
I mean,
what is it? Whenever I turn it on, it still gives me like notices for the newest version to update to. I think they're at like 19.
Holy shit,
Yeah.
wow.
that's crazy.
And are you like not in the field of like you don't feel like you need to upgrade, or are you just like happy with what you have? Is there any
Yeah.
specific reason?
Okay. For a while, I had Premiere, and so I didn't really think I needed a new video editing program as well.
Yeah.
And like Vegas 8's really simple. I've been using it for so long. It's like a really like kind of like a. It doesn't like use a lot of like processing power.
Hmm,
So
that is good.
yeah, it's like a really easy, simple thing.
You seem like a person that like when you find something you like, you stick with it, kind of like Shadows. Is that fair?
Yeah.
It's funny how like those two things mirror. Yeah. Like how you? I think you said in that Wax Toaster podcast you skated Shadows since they first came out. Do you know what year that
Yeah.
was?
Yeah. I think they came out in 2005.
Holy, yeah, that's crazy. I remember
Yeah, I
seeing
believe.
them and being like, oh man, that skate looks bad. But then I saw a picture of Stockwell with them and I was like, those are awesome.
I pre-ordered them, the
Really?
first one. Yeah, I got 2-day delivery on them. It's like $430.
Oh, dude, what a memory. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Did you love them right away, or were you just like, oh damn, I love this skate. Like I'm gonna keep skating.
Well, I
these
mean,
every-
I don't know. I think that one of the reasons I stick with a lot of things is it takes me so long to get used to them.
Yeah, same here.
So,
Yeah, yep,
yeah.
I know. And there's no
Like all the
skate
time,
like
yeah.
Shadows. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Once you figure something out, it's like, yeah, why change it? Huh?
Yeah, it's like, it took so long to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like it took 3 days to set up like the shadows when I first got them.
Why's that?
I don't know. I mean, there are so many different things to adjust.
Yeah.
And they were still like the wrong size. So like
Yeah.
I didn't know that the cuffs were different sizes, so I bought like a small sole plate and I had to like saw the like fins off the large cuff that slides it into it, and then like I had to get like extra bolts and just like bolt it down into the sole plate to get the stick. I did that for like a year, I think.
And it worked. That worked fine. And like,
Yeah,
that's crazy. Holy
but with
crap.
like the extra large, like with like the large cuff and like the small thing, I had to slide it all the way to the front. So when I finally got the right size shell,
Yeah.
like I thought that I was supposed to be having it like slid all the way to like the front, but that's for like a size 6 or 5 or something. And it's like way too small, and I was like, oh my god, I'm wrong.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's funny.
You're still skating the 1.0s?
Am I still using 1.0s?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like the 2.0s.
Did you see that there's like a big sale that Power Slides has, like with all the old stock of 1.0s?
I bought a lot of stuff.
Okay, I did the same.
I bought 8 sets of cuffs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We are stocked. And they sent you some. They sent you the newer ones, but they were too big. Is that right?
Yeah, it was a medium shell. So like the liner was the right size. I guess they don't make like a 9.5.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a 10 kind of. So like the liner fit, but it was for a medium shell instead of a small.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's kind of weird.
Interesting. And you ended up giving those away?
Yeah, I sent them to some dude. I think it was in Norway. It was
Oh, Norway.
$100
Wow.
ship, so it was fun.
You had a contest for that, right?
Yeah,
What was the trick you did to win?
Yeah.
it was like this weird. I don't know. 'Cause the contest was for the most complicated trick.
Mm-hmm. I remember that. Yeah.
It was just a complicated trick. That
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
I was
kind of
hoping for some
fine.
like weird, like Rube Goldberg type tricks
Mm-hmm.
where people put like 50 steps into something that I don't think many people care.
Yeah. My my brain can't even think that fast sometimes to come up with a lot of that stuff. Like I can think it out and then I just can't execute it. Like wizard skating can be like that a lot too. Like
Yeah,
you can really get lost. Yeah.
Well, I don't really do too many complicated tricks. Yeah. I can't really think of like large combinations of things to do.
Yeah. I could see people disagreeing with that and saying the stuff you do is complicated, but I think I understand what you're saying. Like
Yeah,
it's actually like pretty like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like and
yeah,
it's not so much like which
yeah. The
is
steps might be difficult, but there aren't that many of them.
yeah,
I
yep,
can see that.
yeah, for sure. It's more like the trick is unique over being complicated, so
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. Yeah.
All right. For the record, you are a natural right foot and spin to the left. Is that correct?
I'm kind of for the most part left-footed. I don't know. I would
Or
say
you're-
like your dominant foot is the foot you topside with and backslide with. That's my left foot.
That's your left foot.
Yeah.
Oh wow! See, I'm like as much as I watch all your skating, I can never tell which way is your natural spin and which way is your switch spin.
Yeah, well,
it is like it's like a game.
No, I
It's
spin
like,
to
is
the
that natural
left.
for it or not?
So, yeah.
And then you'll do like true. I should have these loaded, but I'm just really slacking today. You'll do like full cab true fish brain both ways. And is there like any reason behind being able to do that, and B, crap, I forgot what I was gonna say. Like wanting to do that, I guess.
And I think I can just do it because I wanted to do it. I mean, I learned how to do it like pretty late in skating. Yeah, I don't think I'd ever done more than a 180 to the right until I was like 20 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Why was that? Is it just something that wasn't on your list?
I mean, that wasn't even like even culturally, that wasn't really like a
Yeah.
thing in rollerblading to try to be good at spinning in both directions.
Mm-hmm.
And no one called it switch. If you could do things in both ways, then you can just do it both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was kind of like not cool to say things were switch until like Brosca started doing it.
Yeah, that's funny. I remember watching videos, like older videos, and that stuff didn't matter so much that I didn't even, when people would rewind out of a trick, I didn't even notice that happened.
Yeah.
It's like, I just was like, well, I don't care. I just want, like, I just was watching the grind and I never even noticed that. Oh, wait, he didn't alley soul and rebounded forward. Now, like, my brain is attuned to it and I see it, But it's funny, like, yeah, he just didn't even think of that, like, whatever, 10, 20 years ago. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you would notice that if somebody did like true fish frames with like both feet, be like, oh, wow, they can do it both ways. But like,
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like what parts of it were switch you might not have cared about.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I wish I learned to spin both ways. Like like you're doing. Because man, the possibilities of that are just endless. Like, I mean,
I don't know. It's like not getting any easier. Like it's spinning to
really?
the right. It's so hard.
Like your body isn't like adapting to it after all those years.
Nah.
Could have fooled me because I mean, like Tree was saying, like it is hard to tell what is switch and natural for you, which is like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It seems like you're doing a pretty good job, I'd say.
Yes. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I've like looked it up. Apparently, it's one of those things that like everybody has like a natural direction, and
Really?
like, yeah, no one naturally spins both ways.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Wonder, like, is that? I wonder why that is. If it's just like an innate thing, like,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
There's
yeah,
an interesting YouTube video that I watched that describes how like figure skaters will spin, I think usually clockwise, and that has to deal with dominant foot, but it goes into other sports too that are differently, and it does seem
Yeah.
that the sport a lot of times will dictate the way people spin, and like for ballerinas and things like they have to spin that way, so
mhm,
um,
Oh yeah.
it seems like a lot of it does have to do with the activity.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and even that doesn't seem to like dictate it because I mean there are people. I mean, especially you notice in rollerblading, there are people who are like right foot dominant and like lead with their right foot, but they naturally spin to the right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
CJ Wall.
What was I saying? Maybe dive into your Instagram a little bit if you don't mind. And I have a thing here. Definitely, I would recommend giving him a follow at Ghost Boobs with, I spelled it wrong in the thing. Ghost Boobs with 2 S's. I feel like you are more deserving of a larger following, but
Yes, I agree.
it's like it is just sometimes just something super random like imitating Rashard Johnson with his gloves and then handling a skate. And sometimes it's satirical, I guess you could say, and sometimes I guess it's more serious. This is one thing I filmed of you doing an entire run of just tabernacles, which I guess you've done at several competitions now.
Oh yeah.
Which is awesome because I wanted to do something similar, but you did it, and I was like, oh, cool, I don't have to do it now.
Yeah.
Michael Briggs has already got it covered. Awesome, and it was definitely a joy to watch. And then you'll do things that are just ridiculous, like cover your eyes and do a handrail. Whereas most people will, a lot of people watching will just be like, I don't even want to do a handrail, and you're doing it with your eyes closed.
How scary was that to do that specific rail with your eyes closed? Is that out like?
I've done a bunch of things in the skate park that were about that size, and like a couple of years ago, I did a disaster soul with my eyes closed.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
And like so it wasn't as scary. Actually, the scary part was like the rail was steeper than I realized. That turned out.
Yeah.
But
wow.
For the most part, it was kind of not too bad.
Would you want to try a rail bigger than that one with the, or is that like the limit where you're like, I'm not gonna push it, like?
I don't know. Yeah. Cause I mean, once you're on it, you don't care.
Yeah.
And like,
I'm just
jumping out as long as you're picking your legs up the same amount that you always would.
Oh god,
then it's not that big a deal. So I probably wouldn't try it on something like taller than that.
Yeah.
One that I've always wanted to do, and there was like a perfect rail to do it on, but it got torn down, was a rail transfer, like side to side. Like maybe do like a top eyes and then jump to like a rail or something. Yeah, there was a rail. There were 2 rails that were really close together, but they got torn down.
Oh damn.
So it's like the process for this, like what I would do is I would do like the trick like 20 times in a row and like just kind of close my eyes more as I go along. Is that similar to your process, or how does it
Well,
begin?
I've only ever done it with like tricks I've done like a million times. So I've done a transfer at the skate park that I've done like a million times. So that was kind of whatever. Then you're just kind of going off of like, I guess, muscle memory, kind of like the after image of like wherever it is. Cause I close my eyes like right before I jump. Not usually that far away from it. Like I couldn't close my eyes and then start skating up to something. Yeah.
Tried. It's really hard.
That is really hard.
It can be done though.
Weird.
I mean, you think about skating though every day, like you do. I mean, for however long you've done it, I mean, it does kind of make sense that like,
Yeah.
you know, you'd be able to. I mean, if anyone would be able to do it, it'd be somebody who practiced that, you know, that many times throughout all those years. You know, like you would definitely build the confidence to do that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think most normal people would be super broken trying most of the stuff, and that's the thing. I think that people don't necessarily understand. Like something like this, like rolling on a rail like this, things can go terribly wrong very quickly. And I'm very just surprised that you've been able to skate for so long without having any, you know, major injuries.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's extremely impressive for me.
That one, I wish I could have just like jumped onto the rail, but it was a little too tall. It kind of sucked.
I feel like I've seen you do that
before.
before.
I was gonna say, are you seeking like when you're doing a trick like that? Are you seeking like to do something dangerous? Like, do you like the feeling of doing? Well, what I would maybe it doesn't feel that way to you, but or maybe it does. But are you seeking to do like things that are scary like that?
Maybe not necessarily scary as much as just like awkward. I don't know. Yeah, it's just a weird trick to do. I think I'm stuck in kind of the find odd kind of sketchy spots mentality that everybody got into about 10 years ago. Like around the time like Charging and Pariah came out, everyone started looking for like just unusual things to do regular tricks on.
Such as this thing. Well, I believe you said this was easy for you to grind on this fence thingy.
That actually is pretty easy to skate.
Surely doesn't look like it, especially a front side of all tricks.
That was like one of the first things I ever did on it, so it wasn't that big a deal.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Well, no, the first thing I did was a topsoul, and then I did an alley fish, and then that same day that I alley fish it, I tried to do like a really long front side. But like whenever the links aren't perfectly round and lined up, you'll stick. You can't. So you can only slide it in chunks where like all the links are perfect.
Wow.
This clip does strike me as different from, I guess, the usual. There's someone filming this trick.
Yeah.
Who was filming?
Get a chance to skate with other people.
Okay. So you're typically someone who just skates on your own. Because I don't think there's too many skaters in Virginia.
Yeah, everyone has like opposing schedules. So.
Damn that adult lifestyle.
Yeah.
But you do travel to skate. I've seen you travel like a decent amount this past year with New York and Blading Cup and the previous Crowder contest.
Yeah, the one in North Carolina. Well, I mean, that's only 2 hours away, so it's not a big deal.
I missed you at the last one. I was like, oh man. That's all Tim's though, who's in chat, which you skated with a bunch in the past, excuse me. You did a lot of cool things, and remember Tim with the hot dogs. Excuse me, I'm dying over here. A lot of people are bringing up the North Carolina doubles contest. Can you speak any to that contest?
I know it was fun. It was a good idea. I was surprised that Ryan and I were the only ones that actually tried to like do tricks together. It was kind of weird. Everyone else was just like they were on teams, but they were skating separately, and I didn't know that was like the point of it. I thought we actually had to do like the same tricks. So as soon as like I got there, I started literally doing every single trick Ryan did, like at the first spot. Then when we realized that wasn't going to happen, we just started like playing around. I found a tennis ball somewhere and started like throwing it back and forth while we were like grinding on this rail.
That's awesome.
That was my wish I had. I remember there was an edit from that and it was amazing, but it might be lost in the Vimeo world. I think that was at that time.
Oh yeah, that was like a while ago. Yeah.
It is weird how like we were all into Vimeo and then we just weren't after that. But there's so much good things lost in the Vimeo world.
Yeah, after Vimeo tried to like, I don't know, become like assertive. Then
yeah, they started playing by the rules and getting rid of copyright stuff. And we're like, all right, this isn't the place for us anymore.
Yeah, I got like locked out of my Vimeo account.
Yeah, I did too, actually. There was a big hacking thing. So I think most people actually got locked out of their
I got like paywall locked out.
Yeah, that's also a thing. Yeah, because you're over your space.
Yeah, I'm like 300% over.
I don't doubt. There you have a lot of videos on the Vimeo.
Yeah.
Including the Yunko, which was one of my personal favorite. I guess periods of time. Of just excited to see any new Yunko thing, and I think they were very well produced. Almost kind of like kind of like the Beebus before when Beebus was a thing.
Yeah.
And then a lot of like satirical things like the Elite series. Kind of doing your own spin-off of the things like that. And bringing it back to like the satire thing, like you do a lot of satire thing, but like would you ever be like, interested in like doing an actual thing, like an actual Elite series or any any of the things that you're actually kind of poking fun at?
I don't know, probably. I mean, that's probably why I'm making fun of these things, because I'm not a part of them.
That's funny, yeah. One of my favorite series, like those, like the Create Originals series things they did for a while, and then there was the Revolution 90-second edits. And like there was like a thing for a minute, to kind of put out those type of edits like that. But
I know Originals, they kind of like shot themselves in the foot, because like the first one was the Sean Kelso one, and it was the best one.
Yeah.
So like it was like downhill from there.
How do you top that? Yeah, for real. That's funny. So you were in the Shadow video, but they never like sent you skates or anything like that then?
JC sent me 2 pairs of skates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I wasn't like on the team or anything like that. Yeah.
Wow.
That was kind of a bad time at Shadow anyway, apparently.
Yeah.
How did it go about that you were able to be in the video?
I don't know. Yeah, JC just asked me if I wanted to have any clips in the video. Yeah.
So JC wrote
the section with Ryan Timms for his video, and I sent the whole thing to JC, and he asked if he could take any of the clips out of it to put in the Shadow video.
And that was all JC and not PJ then.
I sent them to JC, and PJ made the whole video. Well, he ended up making the whole video. So
okay, yeah, I have no idea how.
I think I sent him
politics of that worked out.
The 2 he used.
These are the 2. It's really cool. I really wish there was more.
I know
Briggs and popular media. They did. That was like. Oh, that was the pivot, the capstone of the video for me. Seeing things in there.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that video overall. I mean, like there were some really good sections, but they felt very like it felt like it was filmed at different times, and it just didn't come together in a way that felt like, I don't know. It just felt disjointed to me. Like,
and then like PJ's section was like the only like super edited section, which felt kind of messed up.
Yeah, that's good, but yeah, Stockwell's section is really good in that too.
I think my favorite section was JC's section. It's like the song a lot.
Yep. His ender is like a true neg Macchio cab out. Am I right?
Yeah.
On a square rail, it's excellent. Yeah. Yep. That was a good time.
Yeah. Now that I finally know how to do true neg Macchios, that's like, it seems even crazier than it did back then.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy. That's hilarious. Yeah. So if
One-
I'm sorry, go ahead, Tree.
I just want to cover one thing because you are the only person I've ever seen be able to do this. Is the flip on skates? I've tried, and good lord, it's freaking hard. It still doesn't make sense to me. And you did it with even with the straps intact, or the straps still on there.
Oh yeah.
Was this a thing that took a long time, or was it just did it just kind of happen?
Well, I had to kind of like invent it. So like
This is true.
it took a long time to figure out like a direction to flip, a way to make it flip, but it's kind of straightforward now.
Have you done it since?
I think I did one a couple of years ago. Like I couldn't like take it past a certain point, so I kind of gave up on it. Like I tried to do it down like little like 3 stairs, like 2 or 3 times.
Wow.
Oh,
It's impossible. Yeah.
that'd be so cool. Yeah. Wow.
And you said you were a skateboarder. Was that prior to rollerblading?
For the most part, kind of. Yeah, like I've been like roller skating since I was 5. And then when I was in about 6th grade, I started skateboarding. And then in like the end of 7th grade, I found out that you could do like tricks with rollerblades. And then I started like officially skating.
Got it.
But then again, in 10th grade, I got like grounded. And so I skateboarded like every day for about most of a school year, maybe. That's when I actually like learned how to skateboard instead of just being able to stand on it.
You got grounded
That's
from
when I became like
rollerblading?
an actual skateboarder.
Did you have a crew that you grew up skating with, or were you
There's
like
just a
always
bunch of
kind of solo
skateboarders that lived in my neighborhood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tim's is asking me to ask you what the hardest trick you think has ever been you have ever done before.
The hardest trick, I don't know. It kind of changes on a regular basis.
Yeah.
I understand.
I think the
Well,
last trick I did that I thought was like impossible and I can never ever do it again was on. I did like a true backslide to like rewind 270.
What?
it is an almost impossible trick.
Yeah.
Doing true
Like-
backslide and locking it and being able to spin out the other way. That control is just so hard.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have another person I've seen do that. I mean, I've seen somebody do it.
Someone just
forward.
did one on accident when they like missed a true porn. It was on Instagram. I saw it last
Oh,
night.
wow.
It was
I
on like
think-
a quarter pipe. Yeah.
I think Vitzman's pretty good at those. I think he might be capable of doing that trick. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's one of those things that you could probably count on your hands how many times it's been done before.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd never seen anybody do it.
That's
And
wild.
like I had to do it out of a switch true backslide, which sucked.
That's the
Oh,
hardest
geez, yeah.
thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And I can't
wild.
even like do that consistently. So it kind of like devolved into me at the skate park, just like standing about like 6 or 7 feet away from like a ledge and then just like taking like 2 or 3 steps up to it and just like throwing it, just like hoping I did it. I just did that for like half an hour
Yeah.
until I finally like locked one. And then like as soon as I touched it, I just like twisted. Yeah, it was weird.
Oh, yeah. I've spent 5 hours trying to do true backslide, not even spin out of it before.
Oh, really?
It's a tricky trick. It really is. Ben asked, "What is your favorite skate park?"
My favorite skate park. I haven't been to that many. Yeah, I don't know. I like simple skate parks. This skate park that just recently got replaced with the concrete one that I go to all the time. That was fun. I like just like the little down ledge. Kind of felt like they'd do anything on that.
Do you prefer park over street, or is you're just limited to what you have to skate in the street?
Yeah, I think I'd probably prefer park. The street's kind of boring. For the most part, when you go skate street, you're doing tricks that you already know how to do, but you can go to skate park and learn something new all the time. And
Yeah.
skate park ramps. So
Yeah, that is true.
That's a good point.
especially around here, skating street is awful.
I get that impression. Yeah. Have you run out of spots in your area, or do you seek out new things, or you just like, I skate every day, so it's real easy just to go to the park and learn something?
Yeah, there aren't too many places to skate during the week either. All the spots are at like schools, like government buildings.
Yeah,
it's terrible. Like Red Bull just did a documentary with a bunch of skateboarders from Richmond, and like the general theme of it is that it's impossible to skate in Richmond. Yeah, like for every sport, everybody hates it here.
That's
I mean, they like it, but it's like it's very difficult.
It looks very like we joke in Ohio that like we have spots, but there's always, like, no matter how perfect the spot is, there will always be something wrong with it. In a way, like there will always be a crack, or there will always be something like a pothole or something in the ground. It's never truly as perfect as it looks, and I get that feeling like where you're at as well, where it's just like, yeah, there's like a lot of things you have to take into account to skate street there and like successfully get something that you're happy with,
Something about the area also forces the direction that people skate. So like I didn't grow up skating street around Richmond, but like I kind of noticed everybody that does is right-footed because every rail is on the right.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really odd.
Yeah.
So like for me, I have to skate switch a lot when I skate street.
Oh.
Yeah. Huh. So do you mostly skate alone now, or do you have anyone you skate with now, or is it just? I mean, I imagine it's like if you're skating every day.
Always skating alone. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, because everybody else is skating every day. So if I skate every day, and even if other people are skating,
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, like, most people, unless they're like a teenager or something, is just not gonna have stamina to go out there and do that every day. Like, because like if I could, like if my body would allow me to skate every day, like I totally would, because and skating like an hour or two is like perfect. I think also that's time to like get it out of your system for sure.
I can't do like the same tricks every single day.
Yeah.
But yeah, you still put my skates on, roll around, do something. I think that's good too, because it keeps me from doing the same tricks over and over again. And that makes skating really boring.
When you go out, do you like? You seem like a person that like is constantly learning things. Do you seek that out, or do you kind of go, or do you have sessions where like you don't feel, I don't want to say pressure, but like, I don't know, like you seem like you really enjoy learning new things. Is that like?
Yeah, I do like learning new tricks. Like trying tricks is somehow more fun than doing them a lot of times. If I have an idea for a trick and I do it first try, it's not very satisfying.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
That's definitely true. Yeah.
It's like I got a first try. God, that's too easy. That doesn't feel satisfying whatsoever.
Yeah. Wow.
I'll have the feeling of control playing currently, which is one of my favorite videos of yours. I think because it's all in slow motion. I think that's sometimes like really the best way to appreciate a lot of your skating. And also, speaking of appreciation of your skating, I noticed that like, your arms don't move very much, and I think you have a lot of like almost a minimalistic way of skating where you're just doing just what is absolutely necessary to do a trick and nothing more than that. And I think that's like a testament to being really, really good at skating of not having any extra unnecessary movements. And I just wanted to point that out there, that I really appreciate that.
When I was like a teenager, I was skating with this kid Andrew, and he was like, I love the way your arms just like flail around when you skate. He's like, it's really sick, and it just made me really self-conscious.
That's funny.
I've pretty much been trying to like move as little as possible ever since then.
That's
it reminds me of like the the BMAG and the roller news days where like, you know, it was just the Wild West and like every single bit of criticism was coming out. And I would assume you experienced you know, a decent amount of that at that time period, like, you know, like 2010-ish.
Yeah, I never really put anything. Nothing I did got reposted by Roller News, but on BMag, yeah. But by then I was like 22, 23, so I didn't care.
Yeah.
I was an adult. It wasn't really affecting me.
You seem really like your whole, not just your arms, but like just the way you carry yourself skating. You seem really like relaxed and loose. I mean, I guess that's probably just a testament to how much you skated, right? Like you probably feel like
Yes, yeah.
pretty good. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, that's really cool. So you prefer to, like, if you did have people to skate with, would you prefer to skate with people, or is it just, or I mean,
Yeah, I mean skating with people is fun. Yeah.
yeah, okay. I didn't know if like you prefer to do it alone.
Yeah. It's completely like necessity.
Yeah. I hear you.
Fair enough. You did say at Blading Cup that if I came out to Virginia, you would skate with me. So I'm going to hold you to that.
All right.
I think a session with Briggs would be a long time. Speaking, I guess not speaking of which, but totally off topic. Like how, when you're filming for like a clip, I guess you would say like what is like, does it take a decent amount of time for you to get it the way you want it? Like we had Nathan Bentley on the previous podcast, and he would do hundreds of tries to get one trick. Is it like that for you, or how long of a process does it take to typically get a trick done?
That long? For a really long time. I never landed a trick that took more than 50 tries or half an hour. But maybe 2 years ago, I started trying tricks that like I had tried like 10 years ago, and I was like, all right, I'm not leaving the skate park until I do this trick. And so those took like an hour to do. But on top of that, also like especially at the skate park, like I gotta wait for other people to get out of the way, and that can end up like really like eating into it.
Yeah.
Like like especially nowadays, there are times where I'll get like a try every 5 minutes.
That's so
make sure no one's in like the line of sight of like the camera and stuff.
Yeah. That's funny. That is.
I have some tricks that took 2 hours, but I didn't actually try them that many times.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you have an indoor park that you go to during the winter then?
Oh no, not anymore.
Oh, that's
it closed down like a couple months ago, like before winter. Sucks.
Yeah, that does
Sorry,
suck.
you did do the transfer. Is this the transfer you're talking about previously when you had your eyes closed? That's insane.
Yeah, that's freaking really dangerous. That's crazy. Holy shit. Oh man, that's crazy.
That is ridiculous. So, yeah, you have so many things that nobody would even attempt to try, and then you do them pretty flawlessly. I'm so impressed.
Thanks.
Is there any, like, grinding wise, is there any particular grind that you haven't done or that's really challenging for you? Because I feel like your trick vocabulary is just like, I mean, I can't think of a thing grinding wise that I kind of haven't seen you do.
I know. Yeah, I mean, I did the thing where I like learned how to fast slide ledges like a while ago, and like do a negative mistrial, not negative macchios, and like doing the switch still doesn't feel right.
Yeah, and you just learned a true neg macchio, right? Like I saw that on your.
Yeah.
Or you said like you had did them, but you just now feel comfortable with them.
I had done one, so like after the Shadow video came out, I saw that one JC did, and I was like,
I really want to do it.
I can kind of maybe do this, and so I found a really tiny handrail, and I basically did like a delayed 360 next to it.
That's
kind of like a true wall ride almost, and I counted that as like a true negative macchio. As far as like spinning and holding one, I'd never done one.
Wow, it is a very, like, it's one of those I've done a few of them, and like it's a trick I either feel like that day or it's just no way in hell I'm gonna get it. Like, and it happens maybe like a couple times a year. It's like, oh yeah, I got that. I can like
Yeah,
really
like
get
the
it.
precision is weird.
Yep, it's really
Like you're
weird.
a true fish, but like aiming for your heel instead of your toe.
Yeah,
You can't like go on top of the ledge like you would for a true fish. Like you miss a true fish, you can just like be on top of the ledge and roll away. But like
yeah,
you do that with your foot like turned out all weird for a negative, you just like somehow land on the outside edge of your wheel and just slide out.
yeah. I always stick on them really bad. Like I have to wax the hell out of the
Oh
ledge.
yeah, I waxed the ledges and my skates like as much as I could.
Yeah, yeah. It's awesome. It's one of the best feeling tricks though when you like really click the shit out of it.
Yeah, it's weird.
When you
Yeah.
come out forward, you're like, oh, that so feels so good. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I'm gonna
A few questions came in. Tim's asked, how has skating alone impacted the way you think about skating / risk while skating?
It's funny that Ryan would ask this. I really gotta like well, I don't have to do it anymore, but I had to really like tell myself that I was skating in a skate park whenever I do anything. So if like I was skating street by myself and I want to try something, I gotta just like make sure I had to like tell myself that this isn't any different than going to the skate park by myself. Like it's just skating by myself.
like kind of trick your brain a little bit.
Yeah. Like actually the only part that was actually scary about it was when I started skating street, like really after I got out of high school. It was I could only skate at night, and I was kind of just like afraid of some random person running out because I was skating at like 1 in the morning. So that was weird, and that made me stop listening to music when I skated. So I wanted to just be aware of everything.
Right.
Yeah. I'm like that also. Like there was like that era where Killer Boots era where everybody had headphones in all the time. And and I did it for a while, but now I'm like, if I'm at the park, I gotta know what's going on, or really anywhere, I have to know what's going on, or I get super paranoid. Like what's that kid doing? You know, it like freaks me out.
Yeah, I like got out of it before then. So like when that peaked, it was like the most annoying thing in the world. Like especially if I'm skating with a bunch of people and they're all listening to headphones.
Yeah, it was real annoying.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing?
This is great, everybody. Everybody's in their own little world.
Yeah,
I can't do it with headphones on because I need that spatial awareness. My whole motor skills are off kilter if I don't.
Yeah,
if I have headphones in.
I don't necessarily listen to the most like positive music a lot of times. I want to be in a bad mood while I'm skating.
Yeah, that is. Even like, and then you feel like back in the day, it was like, I'm gonna make a skate list or skate like playlist of all the songs and the videos, and you just felt so like corny or something like skating. But I mean, there were moments where like it did pump me up, but it just, like Tree was saying, that spatial awareness is huge. Like to actually be there like that. So.
Yeah, I don't know if spatial awareness like really hit me as much, but like concentration really, because I did it for maybe a year or two, like towards the end of high school. And I was just like always listening to songs over and over again, but like sometimes like your first instinct is to use music you like, but every song you like isn't necessarily good to skate to.
Yeah.
And then you start listening to the same songs over and over again, and then just the fact that you're listening to them over and over again is annoying. Or sometimes it's just you just want to have like that one part of the song going, so you can try like one trick.
Right.
You gotta like skip through it and stuff. And then like this might have been because I just drank so much caffeine for a long time, but like just like the feeling of like the cord of headphones was just like starting to like really agitate like my body. Right? Like it's just like one more thing I'm thinking about that's like is going on.
Yeah. for sure. So
I don't know how like BJ Campbell used to do it with like the Discman. So he'd have the Discman and like the cable and like the big
I
giant
think I tried
headphones
that when
on.
I was like a kid and I like first started skating, and it was like impossible. Like you had to be like
Like-
super still in order to
Yeah.
I
keep.
guess it's a good way to learn how to be smooth on skates. Just skate with the CD player.
And then if you fall on it, you're just falling on this like a machine, like this big fragile.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
this big $300 machine in $1997.
When I was yeah. Go ahead, Tree.
Doug Williams had the question of will we ever see Deal With It X Young Co collab? And I guess for my question, would be like, would it be possible, or is there any foresight of a Briggs Pro wheel with Deal With It?
I don't know. I mean, I made a design like as soon as I got sponsored. I don't know when or if that would ever happen.
Well, I hope
And
so.
as far as Yunko goes, Yunko is pretty much done.
Oh damn. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's been the trend to bring back companies lately. So.
Yeah. Resurrected. For sure.
Ben asked. Oh, go ahead, Ryan.
I was gonna say I had another question from Doug. This is from Instagram. When I was asking for questions, he said, "How do you feel about floor work into and out of grinds? And then also, how hard is it learning toe slides?"
Wait, what was the first part?
He says, "How do you feel about floor work into and out of grinds?"
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's good, I guess. Yeah, it's another trick.
Yeah, I hear it.
I feel like
And
you've been
then-
experimenting with stuff like that recently, Michael.
Yeah,
Like toe spins is like in and out of stuff. Just one of them.
yeah. Kind of bored. I watched like a bunch of like Stuart Braddy edits one day.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
was like,
I
I
love
can do that because he also skates super still. I mean, it's a much more of an extreme than I probably ever could. But yeah.
Yeah, he is like a statue. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It is, yeah. You've seen the edit of him in slow motion, the park edit, and it's like a 5 minutes of him just in slow motion.
Oh yeah,
It is like incredible. Like I was glued to the screen watching that. Like I couldn't freaking believe just like how synced to the object he was skating, and then how like synced to the ground he was when he landed. It was just incredible.
yeah.
Uh,
Definitely a big fan of this.
I had some more questions from.
What was the other part? Toe slides?
Oh yeah. He
toe
asked
slides.
how hard is it learning toe slides.
I would still say I'm bad at them after about 10 years, so it's that hard. It's very, very hard.
Hear that, Doug? Hard.
I mean,
Ben
it's
asked.
fun, but yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I mean, I've been doing that the whole show. All right. Well, okay. Ben asked, for a new skater who wants to grow up and skate like you, what advice do you have for them / me?
Skate all the time. Get
Yeah,
bored.
that's pretty good. That's pretty true, man.
Yeah.
Skate a lot.
Skate enough to get bored.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe in the wax toaster, you said whenever you're bored is when you decided you need to challenge yourself.
Yeah.
Do something hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Check.
Cause I when I first got out of high school, I would just go to the skate park and like do the same tricks every single day. And then one day I kind of felt like I was wasting my time.
Yeah. So you made like a conscious choice, like
Yeah.
you can venture into a different way. Yeah. I had another question from Instagram. I don't know who, somebody named That Mountain is their handle, but they said, Michael, do you actively think about NBDs that you do, or does a lot of it just come from the flow of how you're skating?
Probably just actively. I mean, I don't actually know if most of the things I've done are like never been done before, but I do like say, well, what have I never seen anybody do? Or what have I only seen like a handful of people do?
That's how I think too. Like exactly like that. Yeah. Like every time, for sure.
You mentioned high school and kind of wasting your time. It reminded me of this of a recent post from 5 weeks ago. It says, when I was a senior in high school, my teacher had us all write a letter to ourselves 5 years into the future, and 5 years later, he mailed them to us. This was yours, which is it's a cool idea, cool teacher. It sounds like. But do you mind if I read it?
Sure.
Okay. Dear Michael, I guess I should start off by saying, hi, how are you? One would hope that you are finally doing something important with your life, or that you've at least graduated. High school seemed like it was pretty rough on you. It was mostly my fault, though. I threw away a lot of opportunities to get ahead in school and in life. The future might have been a little more certain if I had decided to do my homework most of the time. Because of me, there is no telling what you're doing now. There are still many paths for me to take that could have a positive effect on my situation. This letter should include thoughts on current events, but I know that you didn't really care about the war on terror or any of that other crap that went on in the world around you. I'm not saying that isn't important, but I know that it was never one of my chief concerns. The only thing that you ever cared about was skating. I know that you are still skating whenever you can. You might have finally gotten sponsored and started making a living off skating since you wrote this letter. Since I started high school, all I've been thinking about is skating all day, every day, and turning pro. It is good to have dreams and aspirations, but it's not good to let them take over your life. There's a possibility that skating could have screwed you over in life if you didn't graduate or get sponsored. Hope that things are not bad for you in the future, and that whatever you are doing is productive and in some way fulfilling. My future and your present are very quickly becoming one, and I hope that I can fix things for you before it's too late. I thought that was really interesting, and I think I'm curious, like, how your feelings are about, like, becoming a pro skater. And it seems like you're still into skating every day. So, just curious about your thoughts on how much has changed since then, if much.
I don't know, probably not too many things. I mean, like the idea of becoming a pro skater is kind of like went away.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, both for me and like for kind of everybody. Like there's not
I
really
don't think
such
you're
thing as
wrong
a
there.
skater anymore.
Yeah.
Or a very, very, very slim chance of that being a possibility.
Yeah. Or even if you do become pro, it's not really pro. You're not getting like a paycheck or something. Yeah.
Yeah. If like well, there's a company like other than Shadow that like came to you and asked you to skate for them and they'd give you free product, would you do it, or would you always stick with Shadow, like because that's what you skated? Like say for whatever reason, I don't know, them came to you and they're like, yeah, we're gonna send you some skates. Or would that be like impossibly hard for you to adjust to?
Well, I actually did get an offer last year, but especially like I was saying now, because there's not really such thing as being a pro skater. Like I'd be skating the skates just to skate them.
Right.
I would only do that with a skate that I like. I only like Shadows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if
So
someone's like,
there's no cost. You can't be bought from.
Yeah.
no, I was saying like someone's like, hey, like skate our skate, we'll pay you, a couple $1,000s a month, then yeah, I'd probably do it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. All right.
That's more or less.
We'll start a company. We'll get Briggs on the team. We just need to make that happen.
Yeah. Do you feel like because I like for how long you've been skating and like what you've contributed to skating, like I feel like you're majorly underrated and like you probably should have, like at this point I feel like had a number of sponsors. Do you feel like that? Like personally, do you feel like, man, I'm kind of underrated? Like, no?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I feel that though.
I feel like I'm just trying to like keep up with other people.
Yeah.
And they're like way better than me. Like almost everybody I know that skates is way better than me, actually. So
Yeah, I'm in that position too.
I guess So, sort of along those lines, Tim's asked, who are your favorite skaters to watch? Give us one older all-time favorite and one new school person you get excited every time they post.
Older skater. I don't know. Shintaro Nakayama is like really. It's always really likes watching him skate. Like probably starting like in 2006, 2007.
It's a good
Like,
answer.
when
Fantastic,
like-
fantastic puncher days.
Yeah. Yeah, that video is like really like crazy to me.
You had that on. You had that on your channel.
Yeah.
Did that get
You got-
taken down?
Yeah, I think it got taken down because of copyright.
That's
from the
unfortunate.
music. Yeah.
I had a
All right, and then
question.
new.
Sorry, go ahead.
New skater. There's so many people that are just really great at skating. Guys, seems like someone new shows up every year. Yeah. The list probably like way too long.
I had a
That's fine.
question.
It's a hard question.
Yeah.
I had a question from Nate Bentley. He said it goes back to like the funny stuff you like, satire stuff you do. He says, what role does irony play in your skating? Because whenever I watch your skating, it's like I get this like funny feeling I'm getting trolled kind of, and it's funny. Like I like it though. It's like a kind of it's unique to you. But yeah, he just asked what role does irony play in your skating?
I'm joking around sometimes. I mean, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm just trying to do a trick that I think is really hard. But especially since like all I kind of do is make skating content, and it's like I'm bound to like make skating specific jokes, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's probably about as far as that goes. Maybe.
It's probably
I will
not
say
as-
that the how-tos are probably one of my favorite things ever, and I'm so happy
Yeah,
when one comes out.
One, but it's been a while. I didn't realize. I just realized like yesterday. I've been doing them off and on for like 8 years almost.
I love those. It's so funny too, because like when you're like I love like how it's just the whole thing seems like super low effort. Like there's something really funny about that. But like the way you're talking, it's like you can barely be bothered to
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I'm always
so funny.
swimming. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, those are great. Don't stop doing those. Those are really funny.
All right, we got a very compelling question that must be asked.
Okay.
Logan asked, "What vegetable do you think best represents you?"
I don't really eat too many vegetables. I have a horrible diet. I know whatever vegetables are in like pizza.
That's a good question. What
That's a pretty good answer.
vegetables? Pizza. What
Pizza, the favorite vegetable.
are peppers considered vegetables?
Yeah, are there any vegetables in pizza?
Because mushrooms are mushrooms. That's not a
Yeah,
vegetable.
the toppings or whatever.
There's something in pizza sauce that is a vegetable.
Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Tomatoes are fruits.
Or tomatoes are fruit. Yeah.
Shit, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
There are olives. Are those? No, those have seeds. Those would be fruits. I feel like somebody puts cucumbers on a pizza somewhere.
Yeah, well, that
Those have seeds too. So are those a fruit? I don't know.
you put cucumbers on a pizza, man. I don't know.
Pickles on pickles.
I know,
Those
people
are.
like potatoes. Potatoes are vegetables, right?
Yeah,
Are
potatoes are vegetables. Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
that probably represents me
Potato
pretty
guy.
well. It's
Okay.
a super, super basic thing. Kind of tastes like dirt sometimes.
Eric has an interesting comment or and question. Your Insta posts seem to facilitate between facilitate. I don't know what that.
Yeah,
He's a teacher. He's smarter than I am. Between documenting your progress and posing your provocative opinions. How do you stir controversy without creating a toxic thread? You just seem to keep it fun.
I don't know. I don't think my opinions on things are that provocative.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
kind
feel
of
like
started treating Instagram like Facebook when everybody stopped using Facebook. So if I had like something to say that wasn't like just a skating trick, and started posting on Instagram. Because I used to write just super long things on Facebook. I was one of those people.
I have noticed those in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something. Yeah. It is going back to like I never know what to expect because sometimes it'll be like it'll all be contextual and then sometimes some day later it'll be a gigantic wall of text like oh geez that's really thoughtful. And you just never know what to expect. And I guess I'll get to alleviate to the thing that's in the description of as people would have appeared to fake your own death, but I didn't see it as that either. I thought it was just I just thought it was Briggs, and there's probably something else behind it.
I was like,
and
I
was
remember a group chat on that blew up, and I was
and if
like,
I remember correctly, you were kind of you were doing kind of what Complex does or has been doing with putting a date on something that makes it look like it's an obituary or something more grave than it is. So I think that was like a reflection of media for you, but I don't think people took it as such.
Yeah, that was very surprising.
Did part of you, like, when you were putting that up, you're just like, I just want to know what the reaction to this is going to be? Like, kind of like...
I didn't think there would be anybody that thought it was real. Like, I thought there might be people that thought it was dumb or bad, but not real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, I mean, like, in our group chat alone, people were like, people were like, is he okay? I'm like, dude, he's fine. Like if you know, like, come on, like, you know.
It's like, why would that come from my own, like...
Yeah.
Why would an official looking thing come from my own Instagram? Like,
it's silly.
Yeah, it doesn't make it.
It is silly, but I think sometimes you give the audience too much credit, and I mean that's something I could see myself doing. So I thought it was appropriate.
Yeah, that was funny. If I had any more questions from
and the Wax Toasters podcast, you mentioned a lot about getting influences from media outside of rollerblading. I think you said like skateboarding and BMX were two big proponents of that. But I guess and with recent things too, like with the Complex thing, it seems like you are also feeding off a bit of mass media as well. Is that correct?
Yeah,
And
well, I mean, I always did. Yeah, that was kind of like the big part of like the Youngca. Yeah,
which you said was like a riff off of the Youth Company or a riff, if you will.
Well, the name kind of, yeah. Those were back in like the Tumblr days too. So like, yeah, but yeah, I was like, if you're gonna like try to make something to like appeal to like the youth, like why not go all in instead of just calling the company Youth? Yeah,
that's funny.
It has some interesting points about and not many younger skaters on the team. But I mean that's hard to come by, especially at that time. There was not very many young skaters at that period when that company came out.
Yeah, and everyone on the team was 28.
I mean, heck, that's young for today's standards, though. Jeez,
it is. So 28 would be like, oh, I just met this new kid that started skating. Like,
right?
Bitch, I'm 28 years old.
when I started skating, 28 was like a dinosaur.
Yeah.
No, I watched.
Things have changed.
What did I watch? I watched. I think it was Quality.
Chris Majette,
I think. No, that was
that's Dustin Latimer.
Yeah, Dustin Latimer had a lot of footage in it, and then Joey McGarry made like a section of it.
Oh yeah. He had, it was like one of the very last sections Latimer made, right?
Yeah, but like yeah, he was probably like 25.
Mm-hmm.
So weird.
And we thought that was like a comeback. Like,
You're like, dude, he's on his way out. Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
over. Like,
I remember like thinking like, oh man, he's like the old Zen master of rollerblading.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's ancient. Yeah, we like just thought that. Yeah, that's.
but then,
cool.
yeah, then Broscott made what nowhere when he was like 30.
Yeah, and it's freaking. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Do you? How long do you think you can keep skating at like the level you're skating at? I feel like you could go for a long time.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not really super like. I don't really do gaps anymore.
Oh, so there was a period when you were in the gaps then?
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't stop doing it because I was like felt like old or that my body couldn't handle it. I just kind of got like bored because I don't really do too many like regular gaps. Like
Yeah, you do very interesting gaps, especially
Yeah,
like,
I
I remember like jumping through like a hole in a
gap.
fence kind of gap and
Yeah,
like really
so,
skinny landing kinds of gaps.
yeah, and those are really hard to find, and so I kind of just stopped finding them
Yeah.
and just kind of wasn't doing gaps anymore.
Yeah. I
I can
feel like
understand that.
in 10 to like 15 years, it's going to be super interesting to watch you skating at that point. Like,
Probably just a lot of toe rolls.
what'd you say? A lot of what?
Just more toe rolls, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just going to be like so cool to watch your skating like that far into the future. And like you said, you're 37, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like so cool to think about where you'll be at that point and like how just strange I think your skating will be. Like, will be. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
I don't know. Even now, I kind of feel like I'm like, and I think we used to call them like conservative bladers, like people that couldn't get out of like the way of skating from like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Like all right, skates are made for switch ups on handrails, and like
Um,
I kind of feel like I've fallen into a rut of like skates are made for like grinds.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so funny because like to anybody like just for me as an outsider, like I wouldn't think of like you would think that that's crazy. But like that does like I kind of know what you mean though. Like in some ways I'm like stuck. I can feel like I'm stuck in certain ways, you know?
Yeah.
It sucks. Like I hate being self-aware of it, but it's like it's true. It's just,
Yeah.
damn, yeah, like I have like weird walls in my mind of what I think skates could do and what they're used for. Yeah.
Like a lot of wizard blading is really like I can't think of those types of combinations or anything.
Have you tried wizards at all?
Like the actual like frames or like big wheels or anything? Nah.
Well, or big wheels, yeah.
Yeah. Like a really big vanilla.
Do you think it'd be easier if like you had people around, people to skate with that do that kind of thing?
Maybe, but I'm also like I'm saying, I'm old and stubborn. A long time ago, I like really was like I didn't want to modify my skates to do like unusual tricks for the time, and I'm probably like more in that now. So like if I ever start doing different types of tricks, it'll still be with the same setup.
Yeah, I know
Makes
for
sense.
like for wizard skating, like a lot of it is just like trying it yourself, and then it starts to click when you actually watch other people do it, because it just becomes like, I don't know, like if I try to listen to jazz, I don't know what the hell I'm listening to because my, you know what I mean? But it's kind of similar to that. It's just like if you do it yourself, then you kind of like know the things kind of start to make sense in your mind a little bit more.
Yeah, but I also like
may just be that.
I mean, I watch figure skating from time to time, and so like it's not that it's like foreign, but it's like I don't know. I guess it's the opposite of like being super minimal and stoic, like I'm trying to be. So yeah,
That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I really like. Have you messed around ice skates at all?
I've ice skated like once in my life
Really?
when I was
Whoa.
like 13. Yeah.
You should like if you get a chance, you should go do it because it is really fun. Like because I mean like now with all your experience with skating, like you'd have an absolute blast. Just like because it feels like you're super rockered, and it's great. Like you could just sit there and spin forever. And it's like, extremely fun, dude. It's so fun.
I don't know, like learning how to like spin like that on an anti-rocker setup. I think I don't know if I want to do it on like a rocker setup. It might be like too little resistance.
Huh.
I see that. Your skating kind of reminds me a bit of Brosco in the sense of he does ridiculous tricks, but he makes them look really easy. And B, he does them in the same anti setup, and he just makes it work.
Yeah.
Like he'll do wizard stuff in anti, and it's just like you have that setup, and you know you're gonna make it work with what you know, kind of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I was actually thinking about this the other day. Like I think it might actually. I think a lot of those types of tricks might actually be easier on an anti-rocker setup because
Really?
you're only shifting between one of two wheels
Huh.
instead of like, yeah.
It'd be like
You're
less
taking
friction
weight
if you
off
just
the
go on
back
one wheel.
weight off your front
Yeah,
wheel.
that makes sense. I
And since there's only two
the
wheels, there's less resistance
Huh.
anyway, so it's easier to sled around.
And like, have you
It's a
tried
short frame.
skating? Sorry. Had you tried skating flat in the past, and just
I grew my first 3 pairs of skates were flat.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
And that was back in like when every skate came with a flat setup.
Yeah, me and Tree were just talking about that the other night. Yeah.
Yeah, so I skated flat after high school. The first time I probably skated flat was on Aeons, because I had those for about a month,
Oh, okay.
and that didn't feel different or anything. I wasn't
Huh.
like hanging up or anything.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I remember you had a post about that or something, and I was like,
Yeah,
found that interesting. Yeah.
I rode flat on fluids for a day, but that was with some really like super skinny, super soft, like a 50/50 wheels.
Oh,
Those
okay.
fluids had like a really like messed up groove.
Gotcha.
So that was
What
like a
frame do you-
flat setup because that's a really short frame, the fluid threes,
So what frame do you skate now?
fluids.
Okay.
Yeah, I've just been skating fluids for the whole time. I've been skating.
still
I've been
still
skating
fluid
fluids since
threes.
Solomon stopped making frames.
I want to get into the music a little bit here. You have interesting music. Most of the time, it's beyond my comprehension. I think the only way for me to properly enjoy your music is when I get really stoned, and then it's really amazing at that point. But my simplistic audio brain can't really pick it up most days. But you have been featured in what, Plastic Pushers 3 and in another video. I believe you're talking about on Wax Toaster.
Joey Longer?
Joey Longer, yeah, it was Joey Longer. It wasn't for
I
Joey
think it was the
Longer.
first plastic pushers, maybe.
Or was it the first Plastic Pushers?
Maybe. Because
Well, maybe.
because Kevin really wanted to use music by rollerbladers.
That's cool.
Okay, that makes sense. And that's good music, especially the more recent stuff. And do you play instruments, or are you more of like a digital creator?
Yeah, I have no idea how to play any instrument. at all.
Wow, so completely self-taught then.
I guess, yeah.
But over 10 years, like you said, you started 10 years ago doing that.
Yeah, I didn't start using Ableton until the pandemic, though. So before, what I was doing was I was just like maybe banging out like one or two like notes that seemed to work together, and then recording that on my camera, and then uploading that into Vegas, and then trying to arrange them into some kind of melody,
Wow.
and then maybe like distorting them.
Yeah, I noticed a decent amount of a song could be like extremely distorted and then go to extremely melodic in like the drop of a pin. It is very interesting.
Yeah. Oh no, Ableton
That-
kind of like forced. Well, since when you're working with loops, you kind of get forced into like making songs in chunks, I guess. And it's really easy to have those kinds of switch ups because you're just like putting different chunks next to each other.
Is it like, I've never made any music. Is it like pretty fun? I'm like, do you get the same kind of like enjoyment?
It's like video editing. I like video editing. So.
Okay. Yeah, I like video editing a lot.
Do you make music for your own videos? Does that make No? Okay, that's something I would
Whenever I
probably
make
want
a
to
song,
do.
and like try to like sync it up to skating. Like it doesn't really, seem that great. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
What is this about? Richard Spear asks, "You're locked in a dungeon, and for freedom, you have to do an impressive trick for the king. What do you send?"
I don't know what impresses people. This is this exact same like question for the most part is why I did those tabernacles at Blading Cup. I didn't know what to do. Yeah.
Just default to tabernacle. I love it.
Trick on everything.
I guess that would be the same answer for this. What would be the one trick to save us all? and then multiple people suggested tabernacle for that.
That's really funny.
Jasmine has a question, which I believe is probably a real question. Question for Briggs. In roller skating, there's a history of African American roller skating culture, mainly on quads. Can you speak on your experience with rollerblading in terms of blade culture?
I guess maybe they mean like in terms of like being African American as a skater.
I believe that's what the context is.
Probably.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's one of those activities where you end up around a bunch of more affluent people because it's pretty expensive to do. And in America, most of those affluent people are white and grown up skating. So that kind of means by default, they're going to grow up being surrounded by rich white people. And, all the good and bad that comes with that.
Yeah.
I can relate to that.
Yeah. Although, I mean, when I got out of high school, though, everyone I skated with was a minority. It's pretty much just me, my friend Antoine, Chris, and Eddie. So it's 3 black people and 1 Korean person. So that was better, I guess.
She said you could also expand on elements of culture, music, steps, grinds, etc., folks. If you have anything, but if not, that's fine too.
I don't. I'm also from the suburbs, so I wasn't like culturally isolated from the people I skated with. They were my neighbors. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So it wasn't too bad, I guess.
You got something? I'm just kind of going through the chat here, Ryan.
Oh yeah, you're fine. I didn't have any more questions from Instagram. Oh well, Nate asks, where are the backflips? I don't know if he's meaning why don't you do flips, or I
I've
guess that's
never
what he's
do
asking.
a flip.
Yeah.
When I was 5, I went to like a bouncy house. Remember like Discovery Zones? I don't know if those were a thing all over the country, but like,
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
okay, yeah. I went to one of those. Everybody was doing backflips, and I tried to do a backflip, and I landed on my head. And I never wanted to really commit to trying a backflip after that.
That's
I
funny.
tried to do a backflip like underwater in a pool, and every time I went upside down, it felt like I was stopping. Like even if I
Really?
came all the way down, yeah,
Huh.
I cannot go
great.
upside down for some reason.
So
Then when I started skating, like there's nowhere safe to try to flip.
yeah, I know, right? We used to like in the fall rake a bunch of leaves together in a pile, and we had the launch ramp, and we would like jump, which is actually really dangerous because
Yeah.
like the pile would just get packed down. But I mean, I did learn a misty flip that way. Like, but I think a lot of it was from like friends having trampolines and just doing it on trampolines. But yeah,
The trampoline. Yeah.
yeah. Have you so yeah, but you're really good at spinning. Like, have you done like I'm trying to think if I've seen you. Have you done like a 900 before?
Nah, I've never done more than a
Really?
720. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's crazy for how good you are at spinning. When you do the hands, like I've seen you do the complete arms down spinning, like where you don't use your arms at all. That to me seems actually like pretty scary. And me and Tree were talking about like Carlos Panowski being in the straitjacket and then doing the drop rail. Like, could you think if somebody put you in a straitjacket, like, and told you had to 540 with that straitjacket on, you could do it? Because I feel like you're one of the few people that can probably do that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I kind of realized that, like, you know, the dude, 10 Win from Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, when he started, there started being like a lot of edits of him, I kind of found myself being like surprised by what he could do.
Mhm.
And then like, there's one edit where he's just like, he had like a 450 rail on this ledge, and I was like, oh wow, you can spin with just one arm. Because I thought your arms really needed like your arms to spin, but you really just need your head. And so
Your head and your feet, yeah.
Yeah, your head and your feet. And I mean, like you need to jump, like, but
Yeah.
if something else puts you in the air, like a ramp, then all you need is your head. So
Yeah, he's really fun to watch. Like, I don't know. Maybe you know, was he born without his arm, or is that something that?
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, he's real. Like, he's just that's how it is for him. That's crazy. Yeah, he's really impressive. Like, recently I broke my collarbone. I had my arm in a sling, and I was just rolling around with my arm in a sling. And I was like thinking about him, like wow, it's really amazing what he's been able to do.
He's a real cool guy. I met him in Australia. He
Yeah.
loves rollerblading.
You know, see him. I haven't seen like too much of him in a while.
Yeah.
Like every once in a while, maybe.
Right.
Because he's just, you know, living life. But yeah,
Well,
like
so, Ben asked if Michael wanted to start a company, what products, etc., would it have?
probably a wheel company.
Yeah. So you could continue to have wheels, I assume. Because of how many wheels you have.
For a little while, Jeff Lynette would give me Circolo wheels.
From Provoke wheels?
Circlo Jeff. You know Jeff. Right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And
yeah.
he gave me a set of I don't know what the name of the profile is. I want to say it's like a hockey street profile where it's like flat, but not like super flat, like those Conjure wheels. Like I guess like the standard flat. And I hadn't skated like a wheel that wasn't all the way around in a long time. But pushing off those edges felt really, really good. And like ever since, I've always wondered like, how could you make a wheel that kept edges like that instead of getting rounded off? I have no, it's probably impossible, but that'd be really cool.
That would
Especially
be cool.
with like better urethane. Because those are
that's why I think a lot of research to figure out, like a lot of testing to figure out how that would be possible. I've never even thought of that. That would be cool.
like
Tim's has. Oh, good.
I don't know.
Tim
Design a
says,
new product, what would it be? Yeah, I guess that probably would have been yeah.
you gotta get
That
that
wheel.
push.
Yeah.
Oh, Sean has this risk. Would you ever have any interest in trying to get the official world record for toe rolling? I think you would be a strong candidate for that.
I don't know. I thought I was super good at toe rolls, and then I kind of I don't know. Well, I can hold a toe roll for a really long time, but I kind of feel like I don't have as much control as like a slalom skater, and like they can just kind of like stand still on a toe roll for a really long time, and I can, but like I can't stand still for like a minute, and then all of a sudden just like swiveling and like accelerating and to do something. So
What's the longest roll you've done? Or do you know what the longest toe
I
roll
never
you've
really
done?
tried to just like go on like a straightaway and just, like, do a long toe roll like that, but like I've tried a couple of like grind to toe roll like combos that went across like most of a decent sized skate park.
Yeah, I've seen you do some that it was like amazing. Like how because I'm struggling to think of somebody that I've seen do toe rolls as long as you. But I mean, it might just be because people just don't film them like they used to.
Yeah, people don't really.
I mean, as far as just like, I mean, people do toe roll tricks, but like they don't just film super long toe rolls.
James Short did some really long toe rolls.
Yeah, James Short did some long ones. Dude,
Chase
Ryan
Rushing, did he?
from Texas did a really long one. A long time. That was a long time ago, though. But yeah, like I started doing super long toe rolls because of Bo Connington, like in salsa toe rolls. So I started doing like obnoxiously long ones. But that's more like a BMX thing, and I think most people that do toe rolls and rollerblading are really inspired by skateboarding, which is funny because that's what BMXers are doing. But BMXers are like, all right, if I'm going to do a manual, I'm going to do a grind, and get into a manual, hold a manual for 100 feet, then get to another grind.
Yeah.
Most rollerbladers are just like, all right, I'm going to do a manual on the 10-foot long manual pad at the skate park. And that's it.
Right. Like a more of a kind of day one song kind of approach.
Yeah. To an extent. I mean, day one songs going like up and down quarter pipes and stuff.
Well, so are you. So
I can't like go up a quarter pipe and then roll on the deck and then come back down. So
that would be
not there yet. Yeah.
Man, if you get there though, that'd be so awesome to watch.
Yeah. I need like a super shallow. I need like an impossibly shallow quarter pipe with like no coping, probably.
Yeah.
Does remind me. I can't find it, but Tim's made a comment about how you're the master of instantly knowing whether or not you could do something. It sounds along the lines of like, yeah, like a nope, or yeah, I got that kind of thing. Is that sound accurate?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like I'm making excuses, and that like the reaction I get from people, like especially yes, the person I've probably filmed the most with is like Ryan, as far as like big serious things, and not just like going out skating every day and trying something at the last minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll be like, hey, can you think you can do this? And I'll be like, no, because this, and this. Yeah.
He expanded on saying he does an incredible job of like knowing when it's time to give up, where I feel like most would push to get the clip.
Oh
And he
yeah.
expanded even more to say he has a lot of really interesting concepts when street skating that helped evolve my own skating and those around us through all the years. He's truly an extraordinary talent. And
Thanks, Ryan. Yeah.
All right, let's try to get a little bit more caught up here. Nathan asked, "What is your death row meal?" Which means like, what would be your last meal if you could pick one?
I don't really eat too many different types of things. You're a croissant.
Fair.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost Ryan. That's okay. Would you ever have any interest trying to get the official world record for toe? Oh no, I asked that already. God bless.
Yeah.
And I asked that one already. Had some other things here. Oh, Ryan's back. Here we go.
Sorry, yeah, this connection went off.
I talked about the music. Oh, someone asked, how did you get your name, Ghost Boobs with 2 S's?
It was the first thing that came to mind.
Sometimes
It's
those
the
are
name
best.
of a really silly song by Gravy Train, and it just the first thing that came to mind when I started my Instagram account. Yeah, and then it was taken, so I had to add an S. Yeah, because it wasn't even that original.
That's fair. Talking about Solomon skaters. Nathan improves with your croissant selection. It's one of those things like, yeah, I had all these things, and then the green light go, or we go live, and then like it's all gone. So many things. It's like because I am I don't know. I don't think I'm alone in saying that I feel, I guess, intimidated by your presence, in a good way. In a good way of having that much appreciation, and like I never would have anticipated ever having you as a guest on a podcast of ours. I was actually surprised that I didn't know that you were on the Wax Toaster podcast.
Yeah.
I listened to that twice in preparation for this. Just I was like, whoa, he actually was on a podcast. I mean, it kind of goes back to the Broscow thing of like, you don't really hear Broscow actually talk that much, so it's like the same category. There's a lot of mystery and stuff. Surrounding both him and you. I'm sorry?
I kind of talk every day though, like every dumb thought that goes in my head.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even talking to the Blading Cup, I could talk to like Robert Leovatos and stuff. Talking to Briggs, I was like, oh God, what do I say? What do I do? Like even more so than anybody else. But yeah, it's nice to chat with you. It's been
really cool.
Really cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always found you super interesting, like especially the satire stuff. It's just like it's like I really connect to that type of humor. Like so, and like I've done things like that through skating. That's like similar satire type of videos and stuff. Like so, yeah, it's super. It's just like I just find you like an interesting person for sure. So
Thanks.
You spent a lot of work on it, like this one in particular. Like to go through all these clips and put it into an ESPN looking piece is not not an easy effort by
That was
any
fun to
means.
do. Yeah. And Arlo liked it, so
Really?
that's kind of like
That's awesome.
the ultimate seal of approval.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, we got just a few minutes left. We want to hit that 2-hour mark. But if you're tired, that's we can always stop. It is up to you. Richard Spear, another food-related question. From stolen from Paz. There's a blading things sandwich shop. What's the Briggs signature sandwich look like?
A ham and cheese croissant.
All right, very thematic. I like it. And Nathan Chase asked, "What's one trick or maneuver you wish you could do? Like when you see someone else do it, you're like, oh, I wish I could do those, or wish I was better at those."
I don't know, like most tricks, probably. Yeah. I mean, I do a lot of tricks, but I kind of feel like everybody else that does tricks is like really good at all their tricks.
I feel I understand that feeling. Is that kind of why you do more some more unique tricks?
I mean, I just kind of like doing as many different types of things as I can with my skates.
Yeah, like you were saying, you're like constantly seeking out new things to learn.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just like that. Yeah, like I almost like don't feel good unless I'm like trying something slightly out of my wheelhouse or trying to learn something. It's like especially skating alone, I really try to do that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we actually talked about that this weekend too, Ryan. Of like,
we
yeah,
did.
we want to do something new, but there's also something like to be said about people who do the same trick over and over again that are really, really good at it and like do it on anything. Like James St. Hours was like that. He'll do like top sole on anything or 540, like any gap. So you know,
Well,
it's
you were
cool type of
saying John
diversity.
Julio. Yeah.
Yeah, John Julio. John Julio's
Yeah.
been doing a lot of like newer tricks
Yeah.
too, which is really cool to see. And Louis Zamora was like that. Like, yeah, just like I could watch a Louis Zamora Royale any day.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't think I have any trick that I'm that comfortable with.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your like
top soles and rails or something?
would those be like your safety tricks?
I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Most of the time, if I end up somewhere and I can only like topsail it or rail it, like I'm not gonna skate it. Like, it's like a really unusual thing, topsail or rail.
Yeah.
I haven't done it in a while, but for a couple of months, just to get as many like Instagram views as possible, I was going out to like random handrails and doing like rails and topsails.
I was gonna say, like, I remember you doing that for a little bit, and then you were doing like, well, I mean, you were doing like Royale or top sole like to 450 like Royale, right? Like, or 360 Royale. Whatever.
Well, yeah, I did that like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I could like justify asking for wheels.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Like, damn, I gotta do a real trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get a real trick.
Skate park. So. Yeah.
I like watching you do those things too. Like they're like I get surprised by it, but it's also like it's you do even that type of switch up in a unique way. Like I can't put my finger on it, but yeah, it's fun to like the way you do the way you transfer rails is like unique too. I think so. I mean, but yeah, it's fun to watch. It's really fun to watch.
Step across, I guess.
To get back to the Instagram thing, like how important is exposure to you? Like I had the phase also like, yeah, I'm just trying to get as many views as possible or whatever. Is it still like that, or is it a concern to you at all?
I don't know. I can't get money anymore, so
yeah, I know it sucks.
Yeah, they got rid of that. And things don't like go viral. Like they completely like change things. Like the day after I got to California is when for Blading Cup is when they rearranged how they like share reels or whatever.
Yeah, the
Or, like,
algorithm.
people that they changed the algorithm because it was like my like monthly like post reach was like 140,000 a month, and now it's
Mhm.
like 15,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
then
down
like
as well. Well,
once my account got like demonetized because of like a story I posted. So
your whole account
it
did?
didn't get shown to anybody.
Was it just the post or your whole account got demonetized?
Yeah, my whole account got demonetized.
Damn.
Yeah, I was at this skate park in California. I was at the Paramount Park, and then right before I
Mhm.
left, I took a picture of somebody's bumper sticker that said "Kill yourself," and my whole
Jeez.
account got demonetized.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
sucks.
they,
Well, I got demonetized, and my reels got taken off like Discover. So like, yeah, so no one saw most of the things I did.
yeah.
Recalling it.
For some reason, Meta or whatever is really against any mention of suicide. It's weird.
Yeah,
I've noticed
I
that
got a
though.
lot of like memes that I probably posted in like 2014, 2015 that are like constantly getting flagged now, which is
Jeez,
kind of weird.
it's weird.
And it's not like they're like directly like me saying like kill yourself. It's just like pictures I got on Tumblr of like a playground on a roof of a building with like nobody
I
on
guess
it. They're like, this promotes suicide.
I guess the AI is strong enough to detect those things now or something. I don't.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, I mean, a lot of stuff, a lot of that content gets like flagged by people, like super underpaid, like people.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's second
we
to decide if it's good or bad.
Right. And they probably have like a quota they have to meet too.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's probably a really bad job. Like,
yeah. Let's say I wonder what it's like to do that shit.
Yeah. Apparently, those people have a lot of problems. They're not paid very well. They have to watch the worst things on the internet all day long.
yeah,
And
they're
they don't
probably,
really offer like any kind of like counseling or anything for them.
dude, man, yeah, they're probably super exploited. Like, that's crazy. But it does make sense. Yeah, they're probably really have like issues from that.
Yeah.
Just consuming that all day. Like, I can't imagine.
I've probably seen one or two things on Facebook that didn't immediately get taken down that were like,
In there, yeah. And you're like super surprised. Like,
yeah,
how'd that get passed? Like, yeah, like some weird like animal cruelty thing or something.
Yeah.
You're like, how the hell is that on there? Yeah.
There's an interesting video game that's along that premise. You're a cyber police enforcer person who has to read like MySpace posts and stuff like that. They made it seem interesting, but it probably in reality is nowhere
Seems
near
like
as
it'd be
fun.
like the movie 8mm.
Oh Lord, it could be like that. We only have a few minutes remaining of sort if we're gonna stick on this timer. I'm actually getting tired of
Rail,
talking.
ledge, or
But
quarter.
yeah, which one comes first?
Skating quarter pipes by themselves is horrible, but mini ramps are better than rails or ledges. So
Okay, so mini ramp trumps
those
all of
three,
those.
I'd probably pick a ledge. Because you can
Fair.
do more than just grind on a ledge. Yeah, skating quarter pipes by themselves is awful.
You gotta be creative with that, yeah. Do you enjoy backside or frontside groove tricks more?
I used to like only do front side, so I kind of do backside tricks as if they are front side, so probably front side.
Could you elaborate on that? How do you do a backside trick like a frontside?
Yeah, so like for some weird reason, like especially when I started skating handrails, like the thought of jumping backside into a grind, I just kind of saw myself shorting it and just like falling really bad. So I started jumping all the way over the rail. And for like rails, it's like jump backside over the rail into a front rail. So, yeah. That extends to ledges. So like when I do like backside grinds on ledges, I'm not like hanging on the ledge. I'm like really, really on top.
Oh, okay. I think I kind of
Yeah, that makes
understand.
sense.
I guess you're not. Are you working on any projects or anything like that, or are things just more of like a Instagram kind of world now for you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Really?
I kind of feel like if I ever do get like a pro wheel, I would have to make like a section. So I kind of been telling myself to start like filming and edit,
Yeah.
but I don't really care.
Would
It's
you
like filming like street especially is more like driving around and finding things than actually skating. I think as I get older, I don't really feel like doing that.
Yeah.
Especially since I'm driving around the same area. I was gonna go to North Carolina for a weekend whenever it didn't rain for a weekend, but that's kind of hasn't been a thing since like November.
Mhm. Jam. Yeah, we've been working on a video, and I miss A, the instant gratification, and B, just being able to get over a trick and move on to something else. So yeah, projects are tough.
I think Instagram kind of like or just like posting tricks immediately in general
it's so
kind of
satisfying.
helps progression.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like if you do a trick, you post it, then you're like, well, if I want to post something else, I gotta do a different type of trick, and then you might end up learning a better trick, a better version of it. But like filming for a project, especially over a long period of time, like if you're smart about it, you're only gonna want to film tricks that are different from what you've already filmed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's
you're gonna save those, so you're not gonna try to expand on tricks you've already done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like you film like a
I
good soul
understand.
grind, that's your soul grind. You're not even thinking about soul grinds anymore.
Yeah,
And
you're like,
you're
I know,
finished the section.
we've got that problem where it's like, hey man, do I already have a negative Machio in the section? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
This weekend.
yeah,
Yeah, but if you do it on Instagram, then you can be like, all right, well, I just did a soul grind, but I see like people kind of like soul grinds. I mean, this doesn't have to be your reason for expanding on it, but you could be like, well, people kind of like soul grinds. Maybe I could try a different type of soul grind
mm-hmm.
or something like that.
Yeah,
So
that's kind of
on like a soul grind like series of posts as opposed to like holding on to one for a year while you wait to finish the section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you kind of took the Nicolomax style of Instagramming and social media of just like posting one clip at a time.
Oh yeah, I was doing that pretty heavy when I thought I was gonna like I was trying to like maximize, I guess, because before they redid the algorithm, I posted at 4:18 every day to get like the most amount of views.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good timing right before 420.
Yeah.
And do you have like a stack of like just clips ready to go at any given moment, or do you get your clips that day and then just post them that day?
Not really more. Well, since I was posting once a day, like I would go out on the weekends, just kind of drive around, maybe try like do like simple tricks on handrails, and I would end up with like 4 or 5 tricks. But since I was only posting once a day, then that would be all my clips for the week.
Yeah.
But I haven't really been doing that too much anymore. I mean, I try to film stuff at the skate park if I learn anything new, but also like just want to skate.
Yeah.
And when they redid things, I stopped. I kind of just gave up on the schedule. I just started posting things whenever.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the algorithm is like these days. It's just it's just constantly
Who
changing.
knows?
It's so hard to keep up with. And now that they don't give bonuses anymore, it's just like whatever. I'm just gonna do what I want to. So all right, let's end. Do you have anything you want to throw in before we close this up, Ryan?
No, I'm just really happy to, like, it's cool that finally get to talk to you because I've been watching your skating forever, like everybody else. So, and I I relate to your skating a lot because I do a lot of different types of
Yeah.
types of tricks. So yeah, it's just cool. I'm glad that you came on, and it's been super interesting to talk to you.
Yeah.
And I'm real
Yeah, I
excited
remember-
to see what you do. So
Awesome.
Remember when we were at that contest in Kentucky and Kevin Dallin came up to you and was like, "Oh my God, you're the
He was like,
internet." All right, so one last question to leave us off on. Sean Michelson asked, Shane Coburn hit you up because he wants to bring back Mind Game. You're on the team and he wants you to pick the rest of the riders. Who do you choose?
Who would you choose for my game? I don't know, dude.
Mind Game 2023.
Brain Fear gone too.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a weird one. It's like towards the end of Mind Game wasn't like Mind Game anymore. Yeah.
This is true.
I really agree.
Kind of like Senate as well.
Yeah. It was just like another team of skaters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about
The
this
pressure to be
then?
super creative was kind of gone.
Two skaters you would love to see face off in Blade.
I have no idea.
I don't know. These are tough when you're on the spot for sure.
Yeah.
Well then, any final things you want to leave us with, Mr. Briggs?
No.
Hey, that's fair. I can appreciate that, and it has been amazing talking with you.
Yeah.
Hopefully this hodgepodge of a podcast was hopefully somewhat able to really display how talented you are, and it's one thing. I still need to make a video. I said I would, but I still want to make a video of just watching your videos and just truly trying to understand how good you are at skating, because you are one of the few skaters that I'll just watch and be like, I can't understand, and I can't even fathom where to begin with the type of things that you do. So I wish more people were privy to that. So
I agree.
So thank you for being on, and definitely
no
enjoyed our
problem.
time. And as soon as I can, I'm going to try to get to Virginia and skate with you.
Yeah, sick. Yeah.
Or if you ever want to come to Ohio, man, we got a bunch of people
by all
to skate.
means.
We got a bunch of crusty spots.
Yeah, we can find things right up your alley.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, this podcast has really just been a way for us to try to get people to come visit Cincinnati.
pretty much, yeah. Just
I think I've been to Cincinnati once. They had bitter cold in Cincinnati one year, didn't they?
was it you're thinking Columbus?
Yeah, I think you're clean Columbus, which is close.
Yeah, which is
Yeah,
close.
I think we have to drive through Cincinnati to get to it. That was at
That
the
makes sense, yeah.
skate park. That giant
Okay, yeah,
park.
Columbus. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much again, and we're gonna close down shop. Thanks for tuning in. I don't have any end thingies, so this is our second episode. We'll figure things out as we go along. But thanks for joining in, everybody, and bye.
Later.